Good morning, everyone. I'm Janette Taylor, and I have a joint appointment in Gender, Women's Sexuality Studies with a major appointment in nursing. When I came to Iowa in 1998 as a new PhD graduate student and was looking to do a postdoc, which I did here at Iowa, I did not intend to work in prison. However, my partner looked up the stats and said, because my dissertation was on African American women recovering from intimate partner violence, looked at the stats and said, it's a lot bleaker than I thought it was. So I went online and looked at the stats and I said, where are African American women? We are in the traditional places, church, and we are amazingly incarcerated in Iowa at a high percentage. So I went to Mitchellville. And at that time, Diane Wilder Tomlinson was the warden, and I might call her the dean, and sometimes I call my dean the warden. So I contacted her, and she said, sure, come on down. And we talked, and she was very welcoming and gracious to my ideas and helping me to get into Mitchellville. And then the person who followed her, Patty Wachtendorf, has also been equally as receptive and welcoming to my work around intimate partner violence. Now, as was stated earlier by Director Baldwin, this is an evidence-based practice state, and so I am a researcher, nurse researcher. And so my idea was to continue my work around intimate partner violence and to begin to formulate an intervention for women that I could test. So what most people don't know is the statistics show as high as 80% of women in prison have strong histories of IPV as well as childhood abuse. So I wanted to know if I could implement a music intervention. So music is a strong theme today, only I use CD participatory listening, which is a method, to help raise consciousness around women and the violence they've experienced in their lives. Now, Mitchellville also has independent, wonderful education coming into their establishment, so I'm not bringing anything new, but I wanted to bring a different twist on it because I am about health and recovery of health, especially recovery of mental health. So I went through IRB, did all the exciting things one has to do when working with prisoners, which was an interesting process, but nonetheless, a way to guarantee that we are not doing more harm than good. And to my amazement, the women were quite receptive. They enrolled in the study. Most of them hung in there because it is a painful process. And here I come. I've gotten a little more silver over the years, but basically my demeanor is the same. I'm pretty calm. I could drink 10 cups of coffee and never reach Rachel's level of excitement and enthusiasm. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm not emoting this energy, because that's not my personality. So I come in, and believe it or not, the women are receptive to someone who just comes in, who respects and values them, and who is calm and just listens to what they have to say. And when they tell me something they think is very shocking, I emote empathy and patience from a place that's genuine, and they understand that. So no, I'm not a high octane person. I kind of am low and steady, and I just ride and hug the curb. So I am built for comfort, not speed. So with funding being what it is, and we're all aware of the funding streams, mine kind of evaporated at a strategic point in my career, and so I was very blessed that the College of Nursing, through an ICTS award, granted me some funding to continue to do this work. And I am very happy to say that my first paper has been published. My second one is under review, and then I have a couple more planned. So I do a mixed methods, which means quant and qualitative. So what is the evidence showing? The evidence shows that if you bring music to women in the form of CDs and listening, and you have a program, a psychoeducation program, and the women hang with you, that you can have changes in self-esteem. It elevates, the depression lowers, the sense of social isolation begins to dissipate, and in all their ability to connect and work through their experience improves. So why is this important? Well, it's important because it helps, I like to think that it helps them to manage their incarceration experience a little bit more and to manage it better. Women come to me and they say, you know, I've traditionally taken care of everybody. And yes, they will let you know that they are there because they needed to be there. But this space in prison is a time that I can take care of myself, and I want to thank you for helping me to understand. So I have a list of songs that I play over about 4 or 5 sessions because it is a pilot. And my first song, which helps them to understand that this quiet, soft-spoken woman who is now middle-aged says what she represents is not always what is lying beneath the surface, that she runs a little deeper than most. Once they realize I'm not there from the church. No, I'm not there from the church. So I start off by playing, does anybody know Erykah Badu's Tyrone? Just raise your hand if you know it. All right, so this heavy bass beat comes in and they kind of perk up. And then she lets out, I am tired of this shit. You don't ever buy me nothing. And she goes on, the women are like, amen. She goes on to deconstruct power and control within relationships. And I pair that with the Duluth model, power and control will. And the women will say, you know, I have heard this song many, many times. And they tell you, this is the national anthem for battered women. I've heard this song many, many times, and some have not heard it, usually your younger ones, like in their 20s. And they're like, you know, I have never thought about really what's going on in relation to power and control. So it's an eye-opening experience for them. It helps them to work through, again, some of what's going on. It's great for the self-management of symptoms within a correction facility. And as a parting gift, because we still can leave rewards, although within the letter of the correction system. So I donate heavily to the library for reading, and I donate music. And I usually try to get the edited version of Erykah Badu's, but you know, that doesn't work out too well. Because sometimes, those of you in English and literacy, you know, sometimes the right word just has to be there, even though we don't agree with it. Thank you so much.